Hey, so this is another little quick tutorial for you, Joe, on how to use Vim or Vi. I'm just going to show you how to quickly edit some files. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'll call this test Vim. And next I'm going to open up my terminal. And I'll give you a nice little clean terminal here. And right now, as you can see, I'm in the root directory. So if I run pwd, you can see I'm on users CJ. This folder is on the desktop. So if I go cd and then have this tilde here, which is always your user root, I can go desktop and then test and underscore vim. And the way I'm getting that fast without typing in as many keys is I'm tabbing in. You can do if it's called auto completion. So test tab and then I'm in there. So let's go to that folder, and as you could saw earlier, it was empty. So if I do the ls-la, which just lists what's inside the directory, it's got nothing in it. We can work on terminal stuff later, but right now I just want to focus on getting in and out of Vim because we need it for the git commits, as you saw in the other video. So to create a new file, I'm just going to go vi, or if we had Vim installed, we do Vim, but it's pretty much the same. I can go into that detail later about what the difference between Vi and Vim is. Pretty much Vi is it's stock text editor, Vi, and Vim is the same thing, but with all the extra features added onto it. So Vim's a little bit more powerful. Anyway, let's just create another new file, and we'll call this one my file. So it's Vi my file, and we can put an extension on of txt. And so it hasn't actually created it quite yet, so we get this nice little new file tag at the bottom, but it's given us a name. And so now we're inside the file, or the file we're going to create. It's not yet created. So if we open this up, you know, I can see that there's nothing in this directory, right? So anyway, what we'll do now is we'll add a couple lines. But before I can start doing that, I'm not actually in an editing mode. So for me to start editing, I want to hit I to insert, and down here it changes, telling us that we're in inserting mode. To get out of inserting mode at any time, we're going to hit escape on the keyboard. So I to get in, escape to get out. So just kind of keep in mind when you're doing stuff that when you're inside Vim, the mode that you're in is extremely important. So I'm going to hit I to go back in, and now I can start typing and doing a whole bunch of other stuff here. I can hit return and everything, and we can have some more fun. Do stuff. Let's add a couple lines here. Other stuff, you know. Alright, so next, let's say that I want to save this file. So if I go escape to get out of the mode, I now need to give it a couple of commands, and to do that I'm going to go ahead and hit colon. So I need to do shift colon, and that you can see the colon down there, and my cursor jumps to the bottom, and now I can enter the command prompt. So for this one, we just want to write it and save it. So you want to write the file and save it. So I go WQ, and that brings me back to my terminal. So if I do ls-la, I now can see my file. So we can go back into it now and just do vi my file, and that'll take us right back into here. So the next case is, so say we were messing around just viewing stuff and we accidentally entered some things into it, but we don't want to necessarily save them. What we can do is escape out and just quit without saving, which is really similar, except we don't write. So we just do colon Q, enter, and it says, oh well, you know, we have changes. So we actually need to put the exclamation mark next to it, because this feature is kind of like when you have a Word document, it says, do you really want to quit without saving your changes? You know, it's giving you a little prompt there. We can go ahead and override that by going back and hitting colon and then Q and then exclamation mark. If we go back in, those changes aren't there. Now, like I said, it's kind of like that "Are you sure?" prompt. If I hadn't made any changes and just hit Q, it would exit and not prompt us. So that's how that's functioning there. Now, getting in and out of Vim, there's a lot of advanced commands, so be careful what keys you hit. You really need a cheat sheet initially when you're getting started. You know, Vim or Vi, like whatever you want to call it. It really is for advanced people. I don't really recommend it to a lot of people just getting started out. You know, you really need at least a year or so, or 6 months of kind of like constant immersion into the environment to really get used to it. So I guess what I'm saying, like, just get used to the basics and familiarities of it, and then don't worry so much about the advanced stuff. So that's really what it is right there. It's just, you know, get in, insert your code, and right quit to get out of there. So although you can do temporary commits, like just without quitting. So if we do my file again, I can insert and edit some stuff. And then to save without quitting, I just do escape : write, and then it'll save my file. So it says, you know, such and such written here. So if I open this directory now, I can see my file, and I can open it with, you know, Sublime or something, and see what we've edited into here. And I'm not sure if this will do this in real time, but let's add another line and see what it does. If I hit Shift A, that'll append onto the line that I'm currently on and put us into insert mode. So if I do, you know, some more junk to be added, and then escape right. I'm not sure if this will. Oh, yeah, it did. It just needed to be refreshed. It added it right into there. So that's kind of how it's working. It's still a okay alternative to, you know, Sublime. I would say, unless you need to use Vim, and the use case that we're kind of highlighting for doing this tutorial is when you're doing the git commits. So I'm not sure, and I'll look into it, if we can have the git commits work with Sublime. I'm sure it's not that much in configuration. I just haven't really, I've never needed to do it myself. So let's queue to get out of this example, and that's all we're going to do today. I'll show you some more stuff later on when we talk. All right.